Have you ever noticed that families can have the same argument 100 times and still sit down together the next day? Listen, they disagree, they get frustrated, they hurt each other's feelings, they say things they probably should not say. And yet somehow, the conversation never completely stops. The relationship never completely ends. The connection never completely disappears. And trust me, this is one of the most beautiful truths hidden inside All in the Family. Because the show was never simply about why families argue. It was about why families keep talking anyway. Today we are diving into why families keep talking anyway. And I am telling you right now, this may be one of the most important reasons why All in the Family remains such a powerful and emotionally resonant television series. Because the real miracle is not that the Bunkers argued. The real miracle is that they never gave up on each other. Welcome back, everybody. If you love classic television, deep character analysis, and exploring the emotional truths hidden inside legendary sitcoms, then you are absolutely in the right place. When most people remember All in the Family, they remember conflict. Archie arguing with Michael. Michael arguing with Archie. Gloria caught in the middle, trying to restore peace. Those moments became iconic. But here is the thing. Conflict alone does not explain the show's longevity. Conflict alone does not explain its emotional impact. The deeper question is this. Why do these people keep coming back to the conversation? Why do they keep engaging? Why do they keep trying? One of my biggest hot takes about All in the Family is this. The most important thing in the series is not the arguments. It is the fact that the arguments never become silence. Think about that. Let that sink in. Silence is easy. Walking away is easy. Disconnecting is easy. Refusing to engage is easy. Talking is hard, especially after disappointment, especially after frustration, especially after conflict. Yet the characters keep talking. Again, and again, and again. That persistence reveals something profound. The relationship matters more than the argument. Here is the thing. People only continue difficult conversations when something valuable exists on the other side. Think about Archie and Michael. If neither cared about the relationship, the debates would stop. The emotional investment would disappear. The frustration would disappear. The energy would disappear. Instead, both men continue engaging. Why? Because despite everything, they still care what the other thinks. They still care about being understood. They still care about being heard. That emotional investment keeps the conversation alive. Another hot take. I think many family arguments are actually evidence of connection rather than evidence of failure. Think about that. Most people see conflict and assume something is broken. But conflict often reveals the opposite. It reveals engagement, participation, investment, concern. People argue because they care. Now, obviously, conflict can become unhealthy. But the simple existence of disagreement is not necessarily a bad sign. Sometimes it is proof that people still believe the relationship is worth the effort. And that truth runs throughout the entire series. One of the things Norman Lear ever understood was that relationships survive through communication, not agreement. Let that sink in. Agreement comes and goes. Opinions change. Beliefs evolve. Perspectives shift. Communication is what keeps people connected during all those changes. The Bunker household demonstrates this repeatedly. Nobody agrees on everything, not even close. Yet communication continues. That continuation becomes one of the strongest emotional foundations of the show. Another hot take. Archie and Michael spend so much time arguing because neither is willing to give up on being understood. Think about that. Underneath every debate sits a deeper desire. The desire to be seen. The desire to be heard. The desire to matter. Archie wants recognition. Michael wants recognition. Both men continue talking because both men continue hopping. Hopping the other person will finally understand something important. That hope keeps the conversation alive, even when the results seem disappointing. One of the most fascinating patterns throughout All in the Family is how quickly people reconnect after conflict. Think about it. An explosive argument happens. Emotions run high. Everybody becomes frustrated. Then eventually somebody makes a joke. Somebody changes the subject. Somebody reaches out. And life continues. Why? Because the relationship is bigger than the moment. The family understands that instinctively. Another hot take. Gloria may be the character who best understands why families keep talking. Think about her role. She experiences the arguments. She experiences the exhaustion. She experiences the frustration. Yet she never stops trying to create understanding. Why? Because Gloria recognizes something crucial. The alternative is worse. The alternative is emotional distance, disconnection, isolation. She understands that difficult conversations are often preferable to no conversations at all. That insight gives her tremendous emotional depth. This is where Gloria becomes one of the most important emotional anchors in the series. She keeps believing communication matters, even when communication feels impossible, even when communication fails, even when communication becomes exhausting. That persistence reveals remarkable emotional strength. Another hot take. Understands the answer better than anyone. Think about how approaches relationships. She does not focus on winning. She does not focus on proving herself right. She focuses on connection. Always connection. And because she focuses on connection, she understands why people keep talking. People keep talking because they love each other. Not perfectly, not elegantly, not consistently, but genuinely. That love creates a reason to keep trying. Even after disappointment, even after frustration, even after conflict. One of the most beautiful lessons hidden inside All in the Family is that communication itself can become an act of hope. Think about that. Every conversation contains a small act of optimism. The belief that understanding remains possible. The belief that connection remains possible. The belief that the relationship remains worth the effort. The Bunker family demonstrates that lesson repeatedly. Another hot take. Families keep talking because shared history creates emotional gravity. Let that sink in. Years of memories, years of experiences, years of relationships. All of that history pulls people back together. Even after arguments, even after disagreements, even after misunderstandings, the emotional gravity remains. And that gravity makes complete separation difficult. That is one reason family relationships often endure things that other relationships cannot. Now let us talk about the historical context. One reason All in the Family resonated so deeply during the 1970s is because America itself was struggling with division. Political division, generational division, cultural division. Many people wondered whether relationships could survive profound disagreement. The show offered a complicated answer. The disagreements were real. The tensions were real. But so were the relationships. And as long as the relationships survived, communication remained possible. That message felt powerful then, and it feels powerful now. Another hot take. The reason families keep talking anyway is because human beings need connection more than they need victory. Think about that. Winning feels good. Being understood feels better. Being right feels satisfying. Belonging feels deeper. At the end of the day, most people would rather remain connected than remain victorious. The Bunker family demonstrates that truth over and over again. Not through perfect behavior, but through persistence. One of the reasons this theme remains so relevant today is because modern life often encourages disconnection. Block the person, mute the person, unfollow the person, walk away from the conversation. Families remind us that relationships are often more complicated than that. Sometimes people continue talking because the relationship matters too much to abandon. And sometimes that continued conversation becomes an act of love. As we look back on All in the Family today, it becomes clear that the show was never simply exploring conflict. It was exploring commitment. The commitment to remain engaged. The commitment to remain connected. The commitment to keep talking even when understanding feels difficult. And that commitment may be the most inspiring part of the entire series. My final verdict is simple. Families keep talking anyway because connection is stronger than disagreement. Arguments create tension. Differences create frustration. Misunderstandings create distance. But shared history, love, loyalty, and belonging keep pulling people back toward conversation. The relationship survives. And because the relationship survives, the conversation survives too. That truth sits at the very heart of the groundbreaking sitcom, All in the Family. And it may be the most hopeful lesson the series ever offered. What do you think? Why do families keep talking even after years of disagreement? Is it loyalty, love, shared history, or something even deeper? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. Drop a like if you enjoy these deep dives into classic television. Subscribe for more discussions about creator Norman Lear and unforgettable characters like Archie Bunker, Michael, Gloria, and Bunker. Share this video with fellow fans of classic television. Turn on notifications so you never miss future episodes. And trust me, we have many more fascinating character studies coming your way.